What's up, Royals? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Princess Tonetra, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you what you can plant in June. Yes, it is not too late to plant seeds in June. You can actually sow a lot of seeds straight into the soil, and today we will be sowing a few seeds into some containers just to show you that it's possible, and I will continue to keep you updated along the way on the growth of these plants. If this is the type of video that you're interested in, just keep on watching. So, are you excited to know what's on my list of things to plant in June? Well, the first thing on my list is going to be bush beans. So it is the 13th of June. Bush beans take about 58 days till harvest. So before my frost date, I believe I have around 150 days. I'll have an extra 100 days to spare, and I could probably get 3 more harvests out of these bush beans. Let's go ahead and get to sowing. I have my container prepped and ready to rock and roll. I did make this soil, so if you're interested in making your own soil, make sure you check out this video. I will link it down below, and we're gonna go ahead and sow these seeds. So it's saying that we should sow these around 18 to 30 inches apart, which I'm just gonna experiment with. I'm definitely gonna sow them closer. And by the way, these are bush blue lake beans. So these are a bush bean, they're not a pole bean, so you do not need to trellis these or anything like that. I just have a handful, and I am just going to place these down into the soil, bellies up. And when I say bellies up, I mean this little ridge in here. You want to put that facing up because that's where the seed is going to sprout. So that's what we're going to do. And place them about 1 inch deep, about 2 inches apart. So I'm probably going to have maybe 20 beans in here, and that should be more than enough. And the cool thing about beans is these things sprout within like 4 days, literally. They sprout so quickly, and it's so satisfying. So if you're a new gardener, I would definitely try growing some beans if you've never grown anything, because they're super easy to grow. So that looks good. And I'm just gonna cover these over lightly. Push those in. And in a few days, we should have some little beans popping up everywhere. Really nicely. Make sure you saturate the soil so that they can sprout. Now, the second thing that I'm going to sow today used to be so intimidating to me. I always thought that to sow these seeds you had to have so much space and that it was just impossible in a container, and that is absolutely not true. The second thing that I'm going to sow today are sugar baby watermelons. You guys don't know how excited I am for these. I love watermelon. So watermelons take about 80 days until harvest. My first frost date is in 150 days, so I have time to spare. And I'm planting these in a container, so it's a win-win. We're gonna go ahead and sow these right now. Alright, so here we have a 5-gallon bucket. I'm gonna plant around 4 seeds into this 5-gallon bucket. And if I feel like they need more space, I will definitely thin them down to around 2 plants. But for now, we want to make sure that we get these things to sprout. So I'm going to go ahead and plant 4 little watermelon seeds right into the soil. And push them down about 1 inch. And we should be harvesting these in around 80 days. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover them lightly. So for these sugar baby watermelons, I'm gonna go ahead and put these on a trellis. So they will be on an A-frame trellis that I made. I am going to post a video on how to make it. So stay tuned for that. But this will be going on a trellis so that they can get some support as they grow. And because I don't have huge space for growing watermelon, so we have to work with what we got, and we're gonna go vertically. Whew, it's hot out here. I'm starting to sweat. And finally, the last thing that I will be sowing today is cantaloupe. I really never thought about planting cantaloupe. It wasn't something that I was really interested in growing, but until I saw them on the seed rack at the store, I was like, let me go for it, because I do buy cantaloupe at the store and I do genuinely like cantaloupe. And seed to harvest is about 105 days. We're gonna go ahead and sow some of these cantaloupe. So here we have another 5-gallon bucket, and I'm just gonna repeat the same process as I did with the watermelon. I'm just gonna stick them into the soil about 1 inch deep. And cover them over lightly. Your cantaloupe seeds are ready to go. So we've sowed our seeds together. And to finish off this video, I'm just gonna go over a few seeds that you can direct sow that I haven't mentioned. I have already sowed okra, so I don't need to do that. But okra takes around 58 days till harvest. So if I wanted to plant some okra, I could plant it and it would harvest in time before my first frost. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that for my mom because she really loves okra, and yeah, she'll still have time to get some okra into her garden. So you can go ahead and plant some okra if you like. I've already done corn as well. Corn takes 82 days till harvest. Most people should have enough time. I feel like if you plant it now, you might have time. I'm going to do another round of corn in a few days, just so that I can have 2 rounds. So yeah, go ahead and plant some corn. I haven't planted squash. So this is a summer squash, and summer squash takes around 54 days. So that's a super short harvest time. Another one is cucumbers. I have already planted cucumbers. I'm actually starting to see some fruit on my vines. Cucumbers take around 60 days. Sorry you guys, the mosquitoes are trying to get me out here. Cucumbers take around 60 days till harvest. You can do cucumbers throughout the summer. I would definitely get them in now. I'm probably gonna do 2 rounds of cucumbers. I already have 1 going, so probably we'll start another round maybe next month. So go ahead and get you some cucumbers in there. And just a few more that I don't have seed packets for. I'll just share them off my phone that you can definitely plant in June. You can plant radish. You can do cabbage. You can plant eggplant. I was thinking about doing eggplant, but I don't know how I would cook it or use it in cooking. I would just have to look that up. You can do peppers. Peppers are a great summer plant. You can do lemongrass. You can do some New Zealand spinach. Pumpkin. Pumpkin might be one that you would never have thought was like a summer plant that you could grow, but pumpkin is a summer plant. It likes heat. You always think of fall for pumpkins, but you can grow them in the summer. We already said squash and zucchini. Sweet potatoes. You can plant sweet potatoes in the summer. They are a summer plant. Yeah, you can plant them throughout the summer if you already have the little sleeves. I'm gonna try sweet potato next year. I didn't really have time to get to it, but if you do, try those out. You can definitely get some tomato seeds started if you start them now. You can definitely get a harvest, maybe if you did an indeterminate. But yeah, tomatoes are still on the list. And yeah, I think that wraps it up for what to plant in June. There's a lot of stuff that you can still plant, so if you were thinking that it's too late, it's definitely not too late. You can go ahead and plant whatever seeds that you were thinking about. You should be good to go. Just make sure that you check your first frost date and make sure that you look at the packet of the seed pack and see how many days until harvest, so that you can calculate if you have enough time to start that seed now or if you're gonna have to wait till the next season. So I hope that helps you guys out. If it did, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, Royals.